Now we're going to talk a little bit about debt collectors. Yes, I know. It's very hard to stay cool when they call. It's very hard to refrain from name calling, and it's very hard to treat the debt as just another problem in your life when in reality there's some emotions that are going to go along with it. You don't need me to tell you that if you can take the emotion out of it, it will be more effective. But believe me, do your best. And if you can't deal with the debt collector's calls, just telling them over the phone not to call is not enough. But if you do write them a letter and put it in writing, you must not call me anymore, they have to stop. We're going to be talking a lot about debt collectors' duties and responsibilities and dealing with them as the course goes on. But for right now, I want to deal with a few basic facts. On the topic of debt collectors, there are many things that we are going to cover. I want you to understand one thing at first, though. There's debt that has been already reported to the credit bureaus, and there's debt that hasn't yet been reported to the credit bureaus. It is so much better to try to settle the debts before it's even reported than it is to, after it's reported, trying to get it off. There'll be a lot of detail about that as we move into the course and get in deeper and deeper into the more complex things about credit scoring. For purposes of introduction, I think it's important that you understand that debt collectors have certain duties. When you're called by a debt collector, try to maintain the calmness. I know you don't like it. It might be at an inconvenient hour, and they're regulated as to what hours they can call. So we'll get into that too. The first thing you want to do if the debt is not legit, if there's something about it you disagree with, is to dispute it. And you tell the debt collector, it wasn't me, it isn't that much. If you have a legitimate dispute, try to settle it with the debt collector. The debt collector is paid on commission, and they have a salary and a commission structure. So they want to settle debts. So if you have a dispute, you may be able to negotiate the debt down. You may be able to negotiate the debt down anyway. You should always try to do that if it's legit, and you can offer them a third of it. Tell them you have the money right now. You want to settle for a third? I'll give it to you right now. I'm still talking about debt that hasn't been reported to the credit bureaus yet. The debt collector must investigate whatever inaccuracies are in the report. If it can't be proved, it can't be reported to the credit bureau anyway. So if you have proof of the inaccuracy, submit it to the debt collector and tell them to get back to you after they have investigated. They have a duty to investigate. They're lazy. They don't really want to investigate. They just want your money. But by making them investigate, you may be softening them up for a deal. The best way to get a good deal with a debt collector is to have some kind of defense and stay calm and to have the money ready. If you have the money ready, they're very anxious for money today as opposed to somewhere down the road. Just like anyone else, today money is more important than maybe money later on. Now, it's important that you settle before it's reported, of course. If the debt has already been reported, then we have a problem. Just simply paying a debt will show on a credit report, but it will show that a problem once existed. What you really want is to have the debt deleted if it's been reported to a credit bureau. So when you talk with the debt collector, you can ask for a deletion. They are allowed to do it. They may say they're not, but they are. There is no legal prohibition against them voluntarily deleting it. If they put it on there, they can take it off. If they tell you they have a policy against deleting it, tell them that you're not going to pay it unless it's deleted. If you come to an impasse with that, there is one final thing you can fall back on. You can ask them to send you an email or a letter stating that they will not contest you challenging the debt after you pay it. Once they've been paid, they don't care. You can now challenge the debt on any grounds with the credit bureau. The credit bureau that's carrying it has to forward it to the debt collector, and if the debt collector doesn't respond within 30 days, it's deleted, expunged as if it never happened. That is so much better than just paying the debt and having it showed as a paid debt. For most debts, it's going to stay there for 7 years. As the time passes, its negative effects do delete a little bit, but they're still on there and still will have a negative effect until it's dropped off or deleted. So to summarize, try to get those debts settled up before they get reported. If they get reported, pay for delete. Tell them you will pay them upon receipt of a written promise of deletion and have the money ready. And if they won't do that, ask them to give you a written promise that they won't contest your objection to the debt that you're going to file with the credit bureau after it's paid. Because after it's paid, they don't care anymore. So with these pointers in mind, we're going to have a lot more to do with debt collectors as we go along. And one other thing that I want to emphasize is that if you're really having a problem with one and you need them to stop calling you, you have to put that in writing. If you do, they have to stop calling you. If you don't, they can keep calling you. But if it's put in writing, upon receipt of your letter stating that they must not call you anymore, they have to stop by law.